Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I'm going to be profiling one of my favorite decks of all time, that being 6 Samurai. Like I've told you guys many times before, this is one of my favorite decks. It's actually my second favorite deck of all time, and I've been playing it a lot lately. I gave it to my friend last week. He did not get to play it in the tournament at locals, but it's a pretty good solid deck, and it's a pretty good fun deck right now to play. I would say it's a good anti-meta deck to play right now if you really want to, but without further ado guys, we'll get into the deck profile. I mean, I've been playing 6 Samurais even before we had the legendary 6 Samurais that came out in Storm of Ragnarok. I've been playing them when we had Yachi and all the original ones. But yeah, for years I love this deck. But first off, we have 3 legendary 6 Samurai Kizan. Kizan is my favorite legendary 6 Samurai. Very good card. You special summon him. He helps you up for rank 4s, spamming the field, OTKs, whatever. He's very, very good in the deck. So definitely 3 Kizans, and he's by far my favorite 6 Samurai. Next up we run 3 Kagemusha. This is your main tuner of the deck. Some people like running things like they like running the dojo version. So with dojo version, you can go dojo and then go into your monkey. So you can go dojo and then you can bring out the little monkey squire and do some different plays that way. But I don't like running that version. I prefer running just the Kagemushas and running the asceticism version, which I'll talk about in a second. So we run our 3 Kagemusha and we run our 2 Elder. This is because we run 3 asceticisms, and it helps the deck go for... Asceticism is just a very versatile card because it can help you go for exceeds and synchros, which is really, really a nice thing. So I definitely like the 3 Kagemusha and the 2 Elder. Some people don't like the 2 Elder because they feel it gets cloggy at more than 1 of. Personally, I feel that it's one of those kind of necessary evils if you're playing 3 asceticism, which is very versatile in the deck and helps you go for rank 4s and synchro plays. So, because if you draw the 1 Elder, you can't go into our second, Kagemusha. And then go into your Shien. It's really hard to do. So I do like the double Elder because you can special summon it, then activate the asceticism. It's reliable. I really have not found it to be that cloggy, really, consistently after playing a lot of duels. Pretty much 8 or 9% of the time, not 9 out of 10% of the time, 9 out of 10% of the time, you're fine. It doesn't clog, it's perfectly fine. You're able to get it out, able to go for other rank 5 plays. It's perfectly fine. So I definitely like the 2 Elder. Plus, with the double Elder, it helps you be able to go for Barkion and Beast much more easier. So you can go for a Beast and then go for Shien. So it helps you easily go into Beast a lot more quicker. If you want to have a lot of back row and then go for Beast and you're playing against a Pendulum top of deck or a Ritual-based deck. Next we run 2 legendary Kageki. A lot of people don't like Kageki because the fact of the matter is, back in the day you would get effect veiled when you use this, so you would go almost summon the Kageki and then they would effect veil you. However, I do like running the 2 double Kageki. Some people like running triple Kageki still, I don't. And it's really useful with asceticism because I can go Kageki, bring out Kagemusha, activate asceticism, target the Kagemusha, bring out an Elder, and then synchro up with these 2 guys over here, Kagemusha and Elder, and Kagemusha and the Elder for a Shien, and at the same time I'll have a buddy on the board to protect my Shien in case they try to run it over. So I definitely like the double Kagemusha, and it's very versatile. And if you wanted to run a rank 3 like Phantom Knight Breaksword, you could do that. But I'm kind of Maso-Menace about that. It's not the most optimal play in the deck. It is a play, but I do not play Phantom Knight Breaksword in the deck. I do own the card, but I just don't play it in this version at the moment. I may put it in the deck later on, but not right now. Next we run for your 1-ofs. You run 1 Zanji. He's versatile and he's helpful. 1 Anishi, and 1 Grandmaster. So the cool thing is you run Zanji because you're running the 3 asceticisms, and Zanji's another target, so you can go Zanji, you can asceticism him, bring out Kizan, and then you can go for rank 4, For him, you can target him and then bring out, you can target Kageki, bring out Anishi, and then you could do things like that. So it's very useful, asceticism is in this deck. Also, I would say if you really wanted to, you can run Iroh if you're going against a flip effect deck, like Shaddoll Princesses. I know flip effect monsters have become a little bit more prevalent in the game, so you may want to side deck the Iroh, but that's up to you as a player to decide what you want to do in that aspect. But Zanji's pretty good card, I would say. Grandmaster, I know back in the day people ran more than one of. He's got a pretty good effect, so if they destroy your field, you can recoup some of your losses. He's just a good beat stick to swarm the field with. And Anishi is probably my second favorite because this card is MVP, because you can banish two 6 samurais from your graveyard to target one card in the field and bounce it back to your opponent's hand. So really, really good card. I think it's one card in the field, or is it any card in the field? I haven't used it to bounce back row before. It's been a long time, I mean. What's going to do? Yeah, monsters that are... Yeah. So yeah, really good card. Sorry guys, I had a brain fart for a second. Next we run 3 Smoke Signal, staple in this deck. Gives consistency to the deck. And we run the 1 Rhoda. So Rhoda's back at 1 now. When we got 3 of, this deck was super consistent with what it did. But Rhoda goes back to more than 1, and then more Rhodas. That's all I can say about that. But Rhoda and your 3 Smoke Signals is perfect for this deck. Next we run 3 Asceticisms. Along with Smoke Signal, this really helps with consistency. Asceticism is really nice because the fact of the matter is it helps you go for Exceed plays in rank 4s. It can also help you go for Synchro plays, helps you go for Beast easier and Shein easier. There's been multiple times I've done it multiple different ways where you can go for a Shein and a Beast on the board if you get 2 Asceticisms in your hand. There's just different things you can do. It's really useful card. It pretty much states, select 1 face of samurai monster you control, special summon 1 6 samurai monster from your deck with a different name, but equal attack to the selected monster. During the end phase, that card is destroyed. Usually you don't have to worry about being destroyed because you're going to make it a seed or a synchro play that turn. So you don't have to run 3, but I personally like it in the deck because this is an asceticism build of the deck. Next you run your Pot of Greed for the deck, which is 3 United We Stands. United We Stands perfect in this deck. You want to get this card early. If you get double United We Stand, you're in good shape because you can usually make a Shein or a Beast and set some back row to protect that monster, and then your opponent has to get through all that back row to get to your monster, which is really nice. And so it's really a good card, but it's not really effective after like turn 1 or turn 3. I would say after turn 3, it's just not an effective card. It's a very good card to open up with. Because asceticism, it helps. The problem 6 Samurais have always had, and United We Stand really helps out with, is they have problems with gaining back hand advantage after you've gone off. So that helps you recoup hand advantage. United We Stand does. Next I run 2 MST. You could run Twin Twister, but Twin Twister is not going to be effective in this deck. You're not going to gain any benefits off Twin Twister. You don't have the resources really to even do it. So if you've played 6 Samurais long enough, you may understand this, that 6 Samurais have trouble recouping their hands after they've gone off. They make a big board, they splurge on the field, and then you'll only find yourself having 1 card in your hand or 2 cards in your hand just for backup plays. They may be traps or something of that nature that are useful. So it's not effective to use Twin Twister really. If you want to go down that route, but I find after testing it's not effective. I prefer just the MSTs instead. So double MST. Then I run for my 1-ofs, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Upstart Goblin, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Soul Charge, which is MVP, and 1 Regeki. So the reason we run these cards here, Regeki, self-explanatory. You make a big board, you destroy your opponent's field, you OTK them with your 6 Samurais. Soul Charge, it helps you bring back Sheins, it helps you create locks with Shein and Barkion, or Beast. depending upon the situation, which is really, really nice depending upon the decks you're facing, because you can go Sheehan and Beast on the field and have maybe a back row or two on your back row. Your opponent's going to have to, if they're playing a Pendulum deck or something of that nature, it's going to be kind of rough. So I like the Soul Charge. Instant Fusion for Norden, because you can help. You have a lot of rank 4, level 4s, so you can go for a rank 4 easily. Upstart Goblin, Draw Power. Book of Moon. I know people don't like Book of Moon because it targets, but in a deck where it's pretty much protect the castle and it's really you're swarming the field, if your opponent tries to make a Castel, which is more the main outs people will try to do, Castel and 101 to get around your Sheehan, you could be like a Book of Moon that Castel, and I'm going to run over it now. So it's a good offensive and defensive card if they try to run over your cards, and it helps with the main out, which is Castel. Because people always try to Castel your Sheehan, and you're like, Book of Moon. Next we run 2 Double-Edged Sword Technique. A lot of people don't like, some people like this card as a 3 of, I like it as a 2 of, and with the ability to run multiple Sheehan, I only run 2 Sheehan because I always find myself only needing 2. But if you do want to run 3 Sheehan, you can do that. And then you may want to run this at multiples. But I do like it because you can set this after you've gone off, flip it up, helps you go for Exceed plays, Synchro plays, bring back Sheehan. If you run Spirit, you can equip the Spirit to the Sheehan, and then Sheehan won't blow himself up. So there's multiple different ways this card is useful in the deck, but I like it just as a 2-of. Next I run 2 Quaking Mirror Force. Quaking Mirror Force, I chose this over, oh gosh, what's the secret that came out of the last set? I'm forgetting off the top of my head. I own the card, but I forgot what it is. Rippling Mirror Force. So I prefer this over Rippling because it puts monsters face down. And if your opponent's attacking you, it's non-targeting. It just puts those monsters face down, because either your opponent's going to try to go for Castel 101, or they're going to just try to run over your monster. And to stop those, you can use Quaking and stop those in their track, or if they're attacking you, it's just another good trap to have in the deck. You can run Rippling if you want to, but I prefer Quaking at the moment in this deck. Then for 1-ofs, 1 Vanity's Emptiness, it creates a lock with Sheehan or Beast. Bottomless Trap Hole, Safe Zone. So these 3 run here, like I said, Vanities. This deck is like protect the castle somewhat with Beast, because Naturia Beast is just as good as Sheehan nowadays. So you can run that and protect it with Vanities, and create kind of a pseudo lock. Bottomless is a good trap card, and Safe Zone is a good card with Sheehan. It can be used on the offensive and defensive, because if they Twin Twister it or MST it, you can flip it up, target a monster, destroy their own monster. So, nice. And then lastly, we run the Solemn Brigade, 2 Solemn Strike and a Warning. Very, very useful lineup. Other ways to protect your Sheehan, but 2 Solemn Strike and a Warning. Extra deck, guys, pretty straightforward. I run 2 Sheehans. You can run multiple Sheehans. You can run 3 Sheehans if you wanted to. But personally, I only find myself ever using 2 Sheehans. If Gateway came back, maybe I would run 3 Sheehans, but right now I just prefer 2 Sheehans. Gateway Come Back, please. I love that card. It's at 2 in the OCG, but it's still banned over here in the TCG. Come on, Konami. Bring Gateway back. Please. Pretty please. I know people may not like it, but I love it. I love this deck too much. But 2 Sheehans, guys. Sorry I keep touching my cards right now. Castel and Armor Deities, Keeper of Boundaries. 2 good cards. Castel is still a very good card. It's very underrated. Armor Deities is still a decent card. These are options to go into if you don't want to go into Sheehan. Depending upon your situation. Naturia Beast and Barkion. If you want to play this deck like super competitively and take it to a regionals or something of that nature, you may want to bump Beast up to a 2-of. So I may take out the Armor Deities and put Naturia Beast up as a 2-of in the deck, because you're going to face more Pendulum, and spells are so important in the game nowadays. You just make a Beast. There's times where I go for Naturia Beast before I even go for a Sheehan. So yeah. That's just my thing. And Naturia Barkion. I don't run any level 6s really. I don't run Goyo Guardian. Now, there's another level 6, I think it's like coming out in the next set. I'd probably run that in this deck, but its next set is not out. The Dark Illusions is not out yet. Next I run Trishula. You can make this you can make Trishula very, very, very easily, and I like it as a 1-of in the deck. You used to make it back in the day so easily and consistently. It was so fun, and you still can make Trishula in the deck. Next, we run for your Exceeds Abyss Dweller, because you run Nodin, you get bonuses. Your deck doesn't revolve around the graveyard, so right there. 101, Castel, and Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon. You also run Gagaga Samurai, which I'll talk about in a second. So Abyss Dweller, like I said, you do run Nodin, extra benefits off that. Rank 4 plays. 101 is a good card. Castel is a good card. Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon a good card. And Gagaga Samurai, I run this over Blade Armor Ninja or Excalibur because it can help you protect your Sheehan, which is really, really cool. And it can double attack, so it's really nice. But you can run Excalibur, Heroic Champion Excalibur, or Blade Armor Ninja, but I chose not to because I wanted to run some more versatile cards, and you have Utopia the Lightning, so I took those 2 cards out for Utopia the Lightning. So 1 Utopia and 1 Utopia the Lightning. I took out Heroic Champion Excalibur and Blade Armor Ninja for this card. If you're in Europe, maybe you want to still run a Blade Armor Ninja and Excalibur and take these 2 cards out because you don't have this yet. But 39 is really good. And lastly, your Nodin. So guys, let's go into the actually for the first time ever, I think, on my channel, I actually have a side deck for you guys today for my 6 Samurai deck. So I run, now, like I'll say this quickly, different players, different locals, wherever you play, you're probably going to run a different side deck than I may. You may run things like Gamma Seals. It's something I've even considered, so it's up to you, the player, to decide what you want to run. So I run 2 Master of the Restrict for Monarch matchups, whatever. Good card. 2 Iron Imperial Walls, just helps out in certain matchups, really good. 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. This just comes up against shadow matches, dark matches, matchups, whatever. 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror, light matchups. 2 Unwavering Bonds. I really have started to like this card a lot in my side decks. It's actually a really underrated card, and I think this card will go up in price in the future, possibly. It's a really good card. Don't underestimate this card. I really like it. Then 2 Debunk. Just good against graveyard-oriented decks. Macrocosmos and Soul Charge. Macrocosmos because you really don't care about the graveyard. If you take out Soul Charge, and you maybe take out some other cards depending upon your matchup, you don't really need to revolve around the graveyard necessarily, so you can use anti-meta cards in that aspect. So Macrocosmos and Soul Charge is a staple in this deck since it came out, because the fact of the matter is you don't care about your graveyard. You don't get no monsters effects from going to the graveyard. And lastly, my 3rd MST. So that is the little side deck for you guys there. I know that was very fast, but it's pretty straightforward. You can build it differently. You may want to try out Gamma Seal if you're afraid of big monsters you can't get over, because Samurais do have a problem with that. But you do run things in the extra deck to get over that. So I'll leave that up to you, the player, own discretion. So guys, that is the deck profile for you guys today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I do apologize for the background noise, but I'm doing this at locals because my house is being under construction, and I want to profile this for you guys because that's why I haven't done deck profiles of my own decks in a while, because there's nowhere to do them. So I'm trying to do this now at locals. So yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed this. And until next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and go 6 Samurais. And I hope you guys all enjoyed this deck profile. Take care, everybody.